This is the On the Pony Express podcast, part of the On3 network. Check out all the SMU coverage you need at ontheponyexpress.com. Now, here's your host, Billy Embody. 1, 2, 3, let me go.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, a breaking edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody. Thanks for listening. Subscribe today. $1 for your first week, 50% off annual subscriptions. And it's a great time to get it because this Friday we are talking about a new commitment for SMU basketball. Another top 100 prospect calls SMU home. But before we get to that, we are presented by our friends at StatusJet. Head over to statusjet.com today. Reach out to David Henry and his team, and they can get you to that SMU Virginia game in Charlottesville in a couple of weeks. It's a big chance to see SMU potentially make some history if they take care of business against Boston College and then UVA. Of course, SMU basketball season's heating up. The holidays are coming, so book your trip today with statusjet.com, and they will give you a discount on a round-trip flight with code PONYUPACC. So go ahead and do that as well. And then we've got to tell you about our friends at roback.com. Reach out to them today and go to their website and check out the entire line of SMU gear that they have for Mustang fans. It's really, really nice. I'm wearing the Triple D hoodie as we're kicking off this Friday podcast, and it's starting to cool down, and you can use the discount for 20% off your first order for the first-time customers only using code PonyExpress20. That's Roback, RHOBACK.com. We've had a bunch of people jump on board with them and check out their gear. It is incredible stuff, really breathes well, and looks pretty stylish too. So check them out today. But we've got to get to the big recruiting news. We're going to give you guys a couple thoughts on SMU basketball as well. Keep this podcast relatively short. But SMU picked up another 4-star prospect in the state of Texas. That makes 3 Texas prospects committed to Andy Enfield for the 2025 recruiting class. Nigel Walls, 4-star power forward out of Houston, St. Francis Episcopal, announced that he is picking the Mustangs, picking SMU over Auburn, TCU, and plenty of others. Top 100 prospect in the country, 57th overall, number 11 power forward nationally, and one of the best prospects in Texas. He joins Jermaine O'Neal Jr. and Jaden Toombs in this class of 2025 and gives SMU a second big man in the class. So this is a huge addition for SMU. He's one of the top prospects in the entire country. And now when you look up at the On3 recruiting rankings, you see SMU just where everybody nationally would have expected them, right? Behind Arizona, behind North Carolina, even Alabama, a Final Four team from last year. So SMU has this thing going on in the recruiting front. And Nigel Walls told our own Joe Tipton, who if you don't follow him, go check him out. He said, I chose SMU because of the coaching staff and the connection between them and the program felt right. Coach Enfield really emphasized my shooting and his ability to turn me into an elite shooter, and him telling me about how he will develop me. Just how he saw the game and taught it to his team really stuck out to me. As an aside, Nigel Walls did unofficially visit in July and then got back to campus for his official visit just last month. Coach Capco going through their film and my own film, telling me how I'd fit in their system and what I need to work on to get to the next level as a part of that as well. As far as what SMU's getting, his play style is a power forward that can stretch the floor and play defense 1 through 5, which is always a good thing for those big guys. But we turned to Jamie Shaw, our national recruiting analyst and a scout for On3, to kind of weigh in on his game as well. And he said the immediate takeaway when you have what you have when watching Nigel Walls is the athletic fluidity. At 6'10", he's able to move and change direction in a very unique way for a player his size. He runs very well, long striding from end to end, but it is the way he can open up his hips or slide his feet laterally that really intrigues. Naturally, with that type of athleticism, the defensive upside that he could grow into is intriguing. So that's the big thing. He's going to have to develop physically. He's going to have to add weight. He's thin, but his lower body can and potentially will get stronger in a college weight program. And when you get him to a college training table, that'll be big. So, I mean, I really like this addition. When you talk about guys that go into the ACC, you need to have athleticism. You need to have an ability to move. And whenever you use the word unique to describe a player that can do that, that is a really big deal for a coaching staff to get a player of that caliber into the fold. So kudos to Andy Enfield and the entire staff for getting that one across the finish line. It was one of those additions where SMU really made a late charge overcoming TCU. So that is again, really nice job by the staff. They're able to get him done. And just as the recruiting calendar is about to turn to the early signing period, that is a nice feather in the cap. You got 3 4-stars now. They're going hunting for a 4th. We'll have you guys covered and drop the latest really on where recruiting stands earlier this week at ontheponyexpress.com. So again, subscribe today, check it out, get the latest intel. Nothing's really changed on that front from what I posted on Wednesday. So SMU picking up a big addition in Nigel Walls. Before we get to wrapping up this podcast, I do want to give a couple quick thoughts on SMU basketball as they wrapped up their first week of the season under Andy Enfield. Both games wins over Tarleton State at 96-62, I believe, and then 102-73 Thursday night over Florida A&M. SMU shot the ball last night, Thursday, at 53%. They were really able to take a game that was kind of close, 17-16 with 12-13 left to go in FAMU's favor. And then SMU went on to just blow them out, obviously leading by 38 with 4:11 to play. And then Florida A&M, there's some people talking, they did sneak a cover in there. But SMU had kind of taken its foot off the gas. Andy Enfield said that was probably the one disappointing piece of the game for him. But SMU is a team that my overall thought is that they're going to be able to fill it up on the score sheet with just about anyone in the country. I mean, offensively, they're really, really talented right now and producing at a high level. You look at what Boopie Miller was able to do last night, 20 points, 7 of 13 from the field, 2 for 4 from three-point range, including a shot to end the first half on a high note that put SMU up 51-29 at the break. If you're watching on YouTube, we've got the stat sheet as well as a little minor Roback ad at the top there. But Florida A&M wasn't able to get much on SMU overall. They were kind of pesky early in the game. Again, it was 17-16 with 12-13 to go in the first half. But SMU was able to hold them to just 3 players in double figures. And then for SMU, they had 5 players in double figures. So another nice night for the team offensively. Defensively, they had some lapses here and there. They probably fouled a little bit too much. That was one thing that Andy Enfield brought up. But 48 points in the paint, 33 points off the bench. They were able to grab 12 rebounds and add 16 second chance points. They out rebounded Florida A&M. There were some moments where Florida A&M got theirs for sure, but then SMU took advantage of 10 steals, getting 27 points off of turnovers. So really nice night on that front as SMU took advantage of stealing the basketball. And Boopie Miller, BJ Edwards, Johan Traore, Keon Ambrose Hilton, and Chuck Harris were all in double figures on the night. And BJ Edwards had another really nice game, was able to go 5 of 7 from the field, 13 points. He grabbed 3 steals, as did Boopie Miller and Cario Oquendo. BJ Edwards had 7 rebounds, 6 assists. And then Boopie Miller was 1 rebound and 1 assist away from a triple-double. So a really nice night for him. And then Johan Traore really just turned it on from the free throw line, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, 4 of 8 from the field, had a double-double with 10 rebounds on the night and was affecting shots with 2 blocks. He's really turning into a nice little player for SMU. Again, the competition does start to ramp up here next week. UNC Greensboro comes to Moody Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, but then you get Butler next Friday night, and we'll have your full coverage of that at ontheponyexpress.com as SMU goes on the road for the first time that night and tries to take down Butler. But you have to like where things are going for this team, considering that They don't have Matt Cross. They don't have Samet Yigitolu, who both are probably close to returns in Matt Cross's case. And then for Samet, really close to making his debut. So I think we'll hear something relatively soon on that. So stay tuned to ontheponyexpress.com for more, because that'll be a big deal for SMU if they can get Samet especially ready for that Butler game. So we'll be keeping a close eye on the 7'2", 265-pound big man who is really going to be a game changer. You know, Jarrell Colbert once again fouled out in his first 2 games. He's fouled out both times, and that's kind of a tough look for him because he's fouling at a pretty high rate. But he did have some nice offensive plays, was able to get 6 points on some nice moves. But in 11 minutes to add 5 fouls, that's pretty tough. Keon played 21 minutes, had 4 fouls. So some things to clean up. Second game, I kind of thought SMU might come out just a touch slow, with that game being the second one, and they really rolled from the get-go against Tarleton State. And Florida A&M was a little motivated coming off of a loss to TCU. So on the flip side of that, SMU took care of business. 29-point win is something you'll always take. And I think people are starting to appreciate how good offensively this team has a chance to be. And that'll be really fun to watch for SMU as they go through this season. If they are getting up and down like that, scoring points and doing all of those things, that's going to be a lot of fun for SMU fans, regardless of maybe how the record goes. It's been a minute since this team has been truly fun to watch. So we'll be really keeping an eye on how SMU performs in that sense on the offensive side of things as the competition does heat up with Monday, UNC Greensboro, and then Friday against Butler. So with that, just some quick thoughts from the first week of SMU basketball that ended on a high note with a big commitment from 4-star power forward Nigel Walls. So be sure to subscribe to ontheponyexpress.com today, and we will have you guys covered on all things recruiting, football, basketball, all the things. So hope you enjoyed this quick reaction podcast to SMU landing yet another 4-star prospect. We'll catch you guys next time on another edition of the On the Pony Express podcast.
Shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than the Thomas Auto Group. Browse our selection of over 2,000 vehicles from 3 great brands.
Watch this!
All online and in a few simple steps. Just click on the vehicle you want, save big on the most popular brands, and drive away happy. Plus, all vehicles sold are backed by the Thomas Promise. Visit our website, thomasautogroup.com, or shop in-store at the Thomas Auto Group in McKinney, home of the Thomas Promise.
Thanks for listening to the On the Pony Express podcast with Billy Embody. Follow us on your socials on X at SMU_on3 and on Instagram at On3SMU. And keep it locked to ontheponyexpress.com for more coverage.